Y'all, this sick man was a doctor and he is a pedophile, and he just recently pleaded guilty to trying to sexually abuse a freaking baby. An infant. Y'all, this is so terrible. I'm going to have to give a trigger warning for this video because the details of this case are absolutely gruesome. A former Detroit doctor has pleaded guilty to federal child sexual abuse material. This was after a ton of disgusting text messages were discovered, and they revealed his sick fantasies he had of sexually abusing young children, even babies. So this is 32-year-old Lincoln Erickson, and he is from Farmington Hills. He reportedly pleaded guilty this past Tuesday on May 19th, and that was to receiving child SA material. And as I said, an investigation then revealed horrible, disgusting text messages that Lincoln sent. That investigation led to him being arrested along with 3 other sick men. According to reports, Lincoln is a former medical resident at a hospital in Detroit. He was arrested back on December 10th of last year, 2025. This was after the arrest of a man in Ohio named Brett Tooman. His arrest and the investigation into him revealed a whole sick network, and that was of child porn or child SA material. Reportedly, Brett, the man from Ohio, was arrested on March 29th of last year, and that was after he traveled to Toledo to abuse a 7-year-old girl and a 6-month-old infant. And that was to sexually abuse them. Well, he thought they were real and really existed. However, it was actually, and luckily, an undercover agent he was chatting with. After these text messages with that undercover investigator, Brett was then arrested, and that led to 2 other men being arrested. One was Jeremy Taken and Joshua Ronnebaum. And then it was Joshua's arrest that led to those text messages being discovered from Lincoln, the doctor here. Joshua and Lincoln also communicated on Telegram. That's an encrypted chat app. It was said in November of last year, 2025, Lincoln allegedly told Joshua that he, I hate to say this word, but this was his words, fucked a boy, and that he fantasized about having a child with another man where they could fuck and groom the child from baby to adulthood. Absolutely sick. There was then a message from Lincoln, the doctor, that said start them young. He also allegedly admitted to abusing a 3-year-old child. That was his friend's child. He said he forced that child to perform oral sex on him. There were multiple disgusting fantasies that Lincoln sent to Joshua, as well as pictures of child SA material. Now, it was also discovered that Lincoln had been charged with domestic violence back in 2024. Now, after he was arrested in December of last year, Lincoln did admit to receiving child SA material, but he tried to claim he thought it was AI generated by a man in Chicago. Then after FBI agents seized his cell phone, they reportedly found those Telegram messages between him and other users. Now listen to what was said in these messages. In one of those messages, the doctor said, "Bro, I love other pedophiles. So hot." And in another, he said he loved being a pedo. Furthermore, during a hearing on December 10th of last year, prosecutors reportedly presented evidence of Lincoln's interaction with the father of 3 young children, which allegedly included phone sex and in-person meetings and disgusting, sick messages about those kids. It was further said he tried to get an adult woman pregnant. That woman was said to be his best friend. If I had to guess, it was likely so he could have a baby to sexually abuse, knowing him. According to reports, his guilty plea could see him get a sentence of between 5 to 20 years in prison and a fine of up to $250,000, but that's not enough. He deserves life in prison, if you ask me. He is now reportedly set to be sentenced this year on September 15th, and he will luckily have to register as an sex offender. Y'all, I'm so thankful the FBI caught him when they did, because there is no telling how many children he would have ended up abusing. He is the sickest of the sick, and 5 to 20 years is not nearly enough. Especially if he really sexually abused a 3-year-old child like he's claiming. Surely the authorities investigated that. I would hope so. A doctor. And let's just be real, he was decent looking, right? Made good money, educated, could have likely gotten any adult woman he wanted, yet he chose to drool over children and babies. I will never understand. For more true crime, be sure to follow and subscribe if you're over on YouTube.